All right, let's connect it up, guys. Coming at you here. January 30th, 2022. Man, we're coming up on a couple weeks away from the return of The Walking Dead on AMC Plus, so I'll just wait for YouTube to catch up and everybody to join and all that stuff. So hopefully you're safe and sound and secure and staying warm. I know if it's cold in Florida where I am, it's cold everywhere, no doubt. I know I'll talk about the weather in a little bit. But yeah, so hopefully you're doing well. Today, January 30th, 2022, coming at you. The Walking Dead returns in, 2 weeks on AMC Plus, 3 weeks for AMC on the 20th. And I'm excited for the second part. Hopefully you are too. Hopefully you're excited for the second and third. And hopefully whatever spin-offs and movies and shows and connections and, Tales of the Walking Dead and everything we get. Because the universe is still, important to a lot of us. It's very rare, for me at least, that, you connect with a community and a group and a family in anything in life, let alone, a zombie apocalypse fictional show that really changed my life. And if you think about it, it's a fictional thing that's not true. It's not real. It's not a thing that, it's a comic book that turned into a TV show, and the hit with the Marvel Cinematic Universe from all the different comic books really, I guess, opened up the idea of, hey, let's look into comic books for stories. And it's really paved the way for a lot of shows that probably never would have been made. And if you think about it too, like the zombie apocalypse is, to me, it's what you make of it. It's how you think about it. And I know a lot of people, well, some people are realists, but I know a lot of people in Facebook groups are like, yeah, I can't believe, I would kill it in a zombie apocalypse. I would do so well in a zombie apocalypse. Well, a zombie apocalypse would be terrible, right? I mean, it would be, you have no power. You can't get a hold of people. You run out of food, water, safety, security, the smells, the stink, the lack of showering, bathing. You have to worry about what people are doing, plus animals and zombies, of course. It's crazy. Beverly Woody asks, do you think Daryl will live? Of course Daryl's going to live. Daryl's got the most plot armor left on the show. Daryl and Carol, the spin-off show, if it's going to be just their show, if it's going to be other people, if it's going to be them, Daryl and Carol have to live, in my opinion. Anything can happen, but Daryl is essential to the success of what The Walking Dead really has been, you'd say, since the very, very beginning, but definitely in season 2, season 3, and beyond. Just think about it too, I brought this question up before, like Daryl Dixon was not supposed to be on the show. It was just supposed to be Merle Dixon. So Michael Rooker got cast as Merle Dixon. Norman Reedus came in later and was going to try out or audition for the part, but was already cast. So we're like, see what you got. He did his thing. They liked him so much that they made the Dixon brothers instead of just Merle Dixon. Daryl was supposed to die early on in the first season, first couple episodes, but it survived. He survived and really changed the dynamic of the show because Daryl's not in the comic, and that was a major thing that the differences from the comic for the show, and it was kind of a good thing. It was kind of a great thing for it too. So what's up, Winterfell26? Alexandria Romero asks, what do you think of Madison on Tales of the Walking Dead that shows her time after the stadium? Maybe she gets saved by the Commonwealth. Well, that doesn't fit because if she was in Texas, the Commonwealth is in Ohio or the Midwest, Northeast, whatever you consider Ohio to be. I'm not a Madison fan. I don't care. Madison, to me, doesn't need any more explanation because I don't really care about the character. They're going to bring her back on Fear the Walking Dead season 7. And, we'll have to see. Are they just going to glance over what happened? Possibly, potentially. Maybe even probably, because they love to just, like, The Walking Dead does do some dumb things. But all in all, they explain a lot of things for us. They dummy a lot of things down, but then they explain, they kind of play at both ends of the spectrum. It's realistic as a zombie apocalypse fictional show can be. So I just don't think that Fear the Walking Dead has done the same thing. Fear the Walking Dead has been lackluster in a lot of approaches. I was thinking about this the other day too. Like, Remember Martha, that dumb villain on Fear the Walking Dead? Remember all the craziness that happened in California? Then they went to Mexico, and they went over here, and they went over there. It was like the traveling circus of that show. And it was just so dumb. And Madison, to me, was, yes, the mother, and she was going to take care of her kids. But overall, I didn't really care about the character at all. Like, I cared about Rick. I didn't care about the character at all. Like, she was such a tertiary character, in my opinion. And then it was like, but that's the lead of the show, or one of the leads. I think she kind of had a co-lead with Nick. But, I like Daniel. I like Nick. I like, those are the characters that I kind of liked on the show. And Madison, like Tales of the Walking Dead, to me, is going to be mostly Walking Dead characters. We'll probably get the Tyrese episode, as if he's filming with it. It just makes sense for all the different reasons. Maybe we get a Morales episode. I don't really care about that either. Do we need a Lori Grimes episode? No, but I think that's going to be what the show is. C-list characters at best, having an episode devoted to them, about where they were, what they did, to fill in the gaps a little bit. It's 6 episodes the first season. If it does well, maybe they get a second season. Could we see the start of The Sanctuary, Woodbury, The Governor, stuff like that? I thought it'd be kind of cool to see, but we'll have to see how it actually is portrayed on television, and actually the production is too. So, Jonathan Wilder says, Q&A, I thought The Walking Dead Origins was about what they did before the apocalypse last week, just a recap of Daryl's story. So yeah, if you never saw the Origins, it's just a recap of the characters that we saw on the show. So there's 4 origin story. It's Daryl, Carol, Maggie, and Negan, and it's just the same stuff you've already seen. Nothing new, nothing exciting. It's basically a recap idea of it. So Daryl, as you see him, story. It's Norman Reedus talking about Daryl. It's kind of cool to see, but it's filler. It's kind of dumb. Daryl's journey was he was with the group, and then his brother and that, and you see him, young Daryl, season 1, season 2, season 3, from all the way up to season 10, because that's when Origins is, the season 1 to season 10C. Same thing with Carol. Same thing with Maggie. Same thing with Negan, but it's the here's Negan story to his interaction with the group and where it would come from there too. It's not new stuff. It's not like young Daryl and young Merle having, problems with their dad and all the story before the zombie apocalypse. It just really wasn't that as well. So if you're expecting that, yeah, they didn't explain that very well or build it up for it. So like I said before, guys, we got a bunch of people in here now. It's cold in Florida. Tampa Bay is cold. Yesterday was Gasparilla, or one of the 2 days for Gasparilla. That's a pirate boat parade, regular parade. They have a kids parade. Last week, this week was that. And it's usually back in the day when the Super Bowl was the end of January, it would have been Gasparilla weekend and Super Bowl. But now that they moved that, now it's championship weekend with the NFC and AFC championship games. And then we have the Pro Bowl and then the Super Bowl too. So who you guys rooting for to get to the Super Bowl? I think the best Super Bowl would be the Chiefs versus the Rams. When they played each other 2, maybe 3 seasons, probably 3 seasons ago now. It was one of the best, highest scoring regular season games in history. So it would have been really cool to see that in the Super Bowl. But then we had the Rams play the Patriots instead of the Rams and the Chiefs. That would have been a better Super Bowl than the one we got. But ultimately, if we get the Rams and Chiefs in this Super Bowl, it would be pretty cool. If it's the Niners and the Bengals, I'm okay. I'm going to watch the Super Bowl either way. I don't really have anybody that I'm rooting for. I'll just play fantasy football, and then I'm rooting for my players. So I got Joe Burrow, Mixon, Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham Jr., Jamar Chase. 49ers defense, I think, because they were the cheapest defense, Travis Kelce. So I'm just going to be rooting for my players in the fantasy stuff too. So it's all fun right now. I think it'll be a good. I don't know if it's the 49ers. They're a little more defense. I don't know if the Joe Burrow Bengals can keep it rolling to play. It's cool too. I like the Chiefs just because Andy Reid is incredible. He's really one of the only coaches, if not, I think the only coach, to go to championship games and the Super Bowl with 2 different teams. it's just crazy to think that Andy Reid should still be with the Eagles. I'm glad he's not because I'm a Cowboys fan, so that's how it goes. But it's just crazy to think that today is Sunday. We'll see who's leading into the Super Bowl. I personally think the Chiefs and the Rams will be the best Super Bowl to watch, but you never know. Who knows who actually gets there, and it could be great and exciting. 49ers have a bunch of great players too, but I think Jimmy G is the weakest of all the quarterbacks left. Stafford can play a little bit of football and make some errors just like Jimmy G. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are loaded. The Rams are loaded, but it's kind of crazy to think too. So, yeah. So we'll see a lot of people. So some people like the 49ers, Chiefs and Rams. I'm not I wouldn't say I'm a Chiefs fan, but I'm not a hater by any means. I like Mahomes. He's entertaining to watch. Kelsey's great. Tyreek Hill, the whole team is great. And again, I have nothing but respect for Andy Reid. So interesting. Wrestling last night, I'm sure my guy's going to ask some questions about the wrestling, the Royal Rumble. I watched all the way up from the first match of Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins to the Brock Lesnar match, and then I stopped watching because it was getting kind of late, and I was like, I want to go to bed. But overall, it was entertaining. And, the zombie apocalypse stuff is going strong. The Walking Dead has been filming recently. I believe they filmed on Friday in Sonoy around Alexandria. And there was some recent filming. Hopefully you saw my video about some of the recent filming with the side entrance that the Commonwealth is going to be heavily involved in. I think it's episode 21 is what some people are thinking. So if they were wrapping up the episode 21, then we got 22, 23, and 24. So if that's 2 weeks for each episode, that's 6 weeks left. That takes us into the end of February, early March, and that's when it's going to be done too. So before you know it, it'll be February, and we're 2 weeks away as we do this live stream today, January 30th, for when The Walking Dead returns on AMC+. And I'm excited to watch where it's going. I hope it's better than the first part. I don't think the first part was bad, but it was okay. It was a nice setup for things. The Reapers were a little lackluster, in my opinion. There was so much build-up for them. Like, Angela Kang, they're a formidable force that our group has never seen before. Okay, all they did was take out Maggie's people and wound Alden. Maybe Alden lives, maybe he dies. I think Alden is going to die personally, but I think that he could live. Don't know why he would live, because we're supposed to lose characters. This is The Walking Dead, right? I mean, it's in the title. We lose characters every season. We've lost a bunch of no-name minor characters that we just met. Not really, I don't want to lose characters, but it's essential to the story. We already have an abundance and over an abundance of characters. We're going to meet even more characters in this part of the season. We've already met Sebastian, Lance, Mercer, some Commonwealth soldiers. We're going to meet Pamela Milton and whatever they do with that. We're going to meet 2 new characters that we see in the trailer. We're going to see maybe some of the connections with characters from video games is what people are hoping and thinking, but I personally don't think we're going to see Clementine. That would be kind of a really cool thing to see on Tales of the Walking Dead, or then maybe her own show. So I told you before in the other video, I don't know if you watched it or not, but Clementine is a character from the Telltale Games series, which is cool, but I don't really care about the character because I don't play the video games. I played the first one, and it's basically you get to a section in a part, and you have to make a decision. You have to pick one of 4 choices or one of a couple choices. And based on your choice, what plays out is what happens. So it's kind of cool like this, but I'm more of a open world, Grand Theft Auto, Spider-Man, open world kind of thing. You can do what you want to do. You can do missions, side quests, side quests, all that stuff. So it just wasn't for me. But Clementine has a big following. I don't know, because Clementine is from a video game. So I don't know what the sequence for that is with licensing and everything. So maybe that's holding stuff up. Maybe they don't want to make it. Maybe they do. Maybe that's something they're going to, explore down the road, a live action series of it. It could be pretty cool. That could be something connected with Michonne as well. They could make it work. Let's just say. But, again, I don't work for them, so we'll have to see. Alexandria Romero, Q&A. Do you think CRM and the Commonwealth branched off from the same agency? Maybe there's some treaty between the two and not to attack each other. So I hope so. I really hope there's some major connections. I don't know if it's a bigger group that is branched off from it, like the government. But I think that the Civic Republic, so it could be the Civic Republic and then it branched off with the military, the CRM, and then the Commonwealth from the Civic Republic. So it could be the Civic Republic, because again, CRM is the Civic Republic military. So it's the military of the Civic Republic. So it could be that. I just hope it's explained either way. You know, the lack of explanation with the CRM stuff and World Beyond, it's a little frustrating at times with it. Alexandria Romero again. Name one character that would be great on the main cast of Daryl and Carol's show. Well, obviously Daryl and Carol. And then, so I don't know where the story is going. If it would fit to have, I don't even know. Like, it's hard to tell because you don't know where the story is going. Would it be better to have Morgan on the show? Would it be better to have Michonne on the show? Would it be better to have Aaron on the show? Would it be better to have Rosita? I mean, I don't know how it's going to fit. We don't need characters just to be on that show. We need it to make sense. And I think they're trying to save money too. So it's going to be limited cast, filming. It's just, I don't know. Jonathan Wilder Q&A. What time will the halftime show be for the Super Bowl? I don't like football. I just can't wait till my boys Eminem and Dr. Dre perform. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know when the Super Bowl is going to actually start. That's 3 weeks away, or this week, next 2 weeks away after here. So, I mean, wow, it just made me think about it too. So that day, if the Super Bowl the 13th, is that what we're going with? Because if it is, that's when The Walking Dead returns, and that's 2 weeks away. Because that's the championship games, then the Pro Bowl, then the Super Bowl's on the 13th. So you got AMC Plus, you can watch the episode during the day, and then the Super Bowl is usually like 6 o'clock or something, and then it's going to be a bunch of that. So, I mean, 7 o'clock, I mean, it's going to be late, so I'll have to see, when it actually plays. But, yeah, I mean, I know some people are excited about the halftime show. There's just going to be so many different people there, so hopefully it's good, and they have a plan for, when they had the Aerosmith, NSYNC, Britney Spears stuff, that was pretty cool so many years ago. So, I like the idea of having a group people coming together to work together. Remember the Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake fiasco? That was a little much. But I'm actually watching, I don't know if you saw, that just came out on A&E, I think Lifetime, is a Janet Jackson documentary, and I love it. I mean, I love Janet Jackson. I think she's great. I think she's talented. I like her music, and just watching her talk and her story about it, I'm just thoroughly entertained by Janet, and I think it's really cool to see, and they didn't get to that yet, but I think they will cover that halftime Super Bowl stuff. I've only watched the first episode so far. No, Winterfell, Clementine is in her own thing. She's not in the comic books. She was just for the video game, the Telltale video game series. Are you planning to write some stories, maybe even a book from the Walking Dead universe? Eva. No, I have my own series. I have my own stories. I'm not going to have anything to do with the Walking Dead universe. I'm not going to write anything for that because that's its own thing. That's Robert Kirkman's story. That's his own stuff with calling them walkers and everybody's infected and everybody's this and everybody's that. And, I like that thing for its own merit. And I have my own series. Sorry, Eva. Sorry if I pronounced her name wrong. It's my own series is Fight for Us, and I have my third book of In 100 Days, which is the prequel story of that, will be out. I'm thinking March, just to be on the safe side, but I have wrote the whole book, but I went back and did my rough draft editing of my first 6 chapters so that my wife can read the first 6 chapters. And then I'll have to go through 7 through 18 and keep it rolling. So In 100 Days Part 3 will be out at latest March, at earliest end of February. But I just don't want to rush it. I want to make sure it's done right. In the past, I rushed it, and that's kind of bit me in the butt. So I learned from that there for sure. So. But, yeah, so ultimately, guys, hope you guys checked out the idea for, if you're staying in the know by watching the videos, has still been some news about The Walking Dead. We try to stay in the know by posting the latest information about filming. We've already broken down the trailer in several videos, but there's been a lot of talk about Eugene, Stephanie, Maggie, Reapers, Leah, and I asked last live stream, I believe, I'll ask it again, it doesn't matter, but do you think that Leah is taken out and she dies in season 11 part 2 by Maggie or somebody else? Because it makes sense, but I think that the actress has been in Sonoy recently. As of yesterday, Lynn Collins has been seen by a tour group, the Sonoy Tours, and she was there. She looks like Leah because she is Leah. Lynn Collins is in Sonoy, so I don't know if she's still filming for the third and final part, if she's going to be in the spinoff, if she just lives there now, if she's filming something else, if she's there. I just don't know too. So talking about the wardrobe malfunction from the Super Bowl. Negan one says, I work for Frito-Lay. Buy your Super Bowl chips ASAP. We can't make enough and going to be shortages. Oh, man. So everything's a shortage. Everything's got a shortage. Everything's got going up in price. The demand is there. Groceries are going up. I know that I think P&G, Procter & Gamble, and Clorox are saying their stuff may be going up, or at least it was Clorox, I think, said that some of their products are going up starting in February. So it's just, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, are you watching other Walking Dead YouTubers, and who are they? I don't watch other Walking Dead YouTubers for the sake of I do my own thing. I don't care what they're saying. I don't want to get biased by what they're saying at all. I watch my own videos. I make my own videos. I guess the one video I did watch was the guy that was speaking Portuguese, and I couldn't understand what he was saying, but he had some of the filming video, and some people sent me the clips, or they did this, or they sent me pictures. So it's just, I guess I watched that one thing, but I don't watch other channels. I'm not like going online. I mean, that's just, I don't know. I got enough going on. So yesterday was 7 years that I started the PT channel. Some people still ask, what does PT mean? PT means physical therapy channel because I'm a physical therapist. I'm a doctor of physical therapy, and I'm a full-time home health physical therapist now. I've been that way for coming up on 6 months now. And so I got my full-time job, plus my book series, plus my house, plus my cats, plus my wife, plus all this other stuff. It's a lot to get through, and, to watch other stuff. I do watch YouTubers. I don't watch Walking Dead YouTubers. I watch other stuff on, about trading cards or comic books or Vice or something like that. I watch a bunch of different, educational things I get for, to decompress or just enjoy people going out and buying stuff at yard sales or thrift shops or, swap shops or whatever, and have that too. So yesterday was, like Rob K, thank you. Happy 7-year anniversary on YouTube. So 7 years have come and gone like that, and they do, and that's how life goes too. So yeah, it's funny, technically Wilson, I had my cat Milo before I met my wife. So Milo, I guess, takes precedence. No, it was just what comes to my thing. I don't have to take care of my wife. My wife is independent. I have to take care of my cats. That's why I think of that too. But it's not a ranking order of that. But 7 years on YouTube, it's come and gone. I saw the thing yesterday, and I was like, wow, it's crazy to think of where my life was 7 years ago, and even 5 years ago, and 2 years ago, and it just thinks about it. And I usually make a video of, 5 years on YouTube, 6 years on YouTube, 7 years on YouTube. And, it's good. I've always said that you have to make goals in life, right? So Pete Perry, you do great YouTube content, bro. I thank you, Pete, and everybody, Efren, and everybody that's appreciated of their part of the channel, member, subscriber, however you can help support the channel, just watching the videos, whatever. That truly means a lot to me, and it does, because you think about it, 7 years ago, I was in a weird place in my life, and, I started the YouTube channel for just something I wanted to do and something I thought about doing for a while, and I just came across where stuff takes you in different tangents in life. Some are good, some are bad, some are made because of poor decisions or poor things that happen to us. But everything happens for a reason. Some are good, some are bad. Sometimes it's direction to take us down that path. Like, I'm not going to get into it, but in 7 years ago when I started the channel, I was definitely a person that was not the same person I am now. Some for the better, some for the worse. But ultimately, I've changed, hopefully for the better, and I'm really getting into things that I never thought about having as much success as I've had in life. I've always just went with the flow. I've had goals that I wanted to do this and do that, and start a series, start a book series, start a YouTube channel, become a physical therapist. I wanted to open up my own physical therapy clinic. I found out how hard that was with expenses, insurance, reimbursement, just a lot of stuff that it was just not worth it in my opinion. So had a job, became a manager, switched companies, outpatient orthopedics, home health physical therapy, went to home health and outpatient, now just transitioned to home health. So, I love The Walking Dead, and, I started the channel doing physical therapy videos, but then also talking about Walking Dead stuff. And out of the demand and more views and my love for, The Walking Dead, just transitioned into making more Walking Dead videos. And it's just kind of what it is. Ultimately, down the road, people ask all the time, what are you going to do after the show and the series end? Well, I'll talk about all the series that are still on. I'll talk about the Daryl and Carol show, the Rick movies, Tales of the Walking Dead, Fear of the Walking Dead, whatever it is. But I do want to get into more training, fitness, diet, nutrition, physical therapy, ailments, just Q&A, stuff like that. Talking about some finance stuff, investments that I thought were pretty cool to have, in things that I've been investing in that have worked for me, some things that haven't worked for me, some things that I stay away from. And there's a lot of good questions out there, and some stuff that I've learned, I just like to share. I think that's the best way that people learn or buy into it, is if I learned the hard way. Like I learned about my book series, my first couple books, the editing was non-existent, if not very poor. And then I was like, well, I was rushing it out because I was excited about it and people wanted to continue the series. So I was like, I put out four books a year. And that turns out way too much. Editing took a hit. And so I learned the hard way, and I'll stand by that from the very beginning, that I learned, and hopefully you should learn from my mistakes, and you can. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A, why cats over dogs? Don't just get tired of them getting on top of everything in your houses, and how bad does the cat litter smell? Well, it's not cats over dogs. It's just cats. I got Milo when I was in physical therapy school, and being in physical therapy school, you have to really I was in class and then working on projects and practicals and just had to be, I wasn't in the house a lot. And with a dog, you have to be there a lot. And I grew up having cats because cats are way more independent than dogs. And I'm not ranking cats over dogs. And I'm not a cat person over a dog person. I love both types of animals. And when I go into the homes, I see both. I see cats and dogs. And, as long as the animal's nice, I have no problem with them. So I got Milo when I was in physical therapy school. He's going to be 15 years old this year. He's actually sleeping on the sofa right now trying to stay warm. But he's like my son. I adopted him, and I love him like a family member. And I had a dog before that. I had a Jack Russell Terrier, a long-legged Jack Russell named Mojo, and she was great. But when I was going to physical therapy school, I was like, I don't have time for a dog and this and that too. So I gave her back to her owner when I gave her, because it was the right thing to do. Just because the dog needed a lot of love and attention, and I wasn't going to be able to give it to her. So I gave her back to her original owner, and it just worked out for it. And I do miss Mojo and the love and compassion and from it, but Milo's my boy. So, but that's a whole other thing. And no, you probably think my cat house, or my house stinks like cat odor. Well, we have the litter boxes like in the back of the house towards the laundry room, and we clean it out as soon as the cats make a mess or go to the bathroom, and we're constantly cleaning it out and spraying and cleaning, and just we have candles burning a lot of times too, so it smells fine in there too. But yeah, it's like anyone going to the bathroom. I mean, they're just like animals. They don't go outside. They just go in a litter box too. So But again, in a zombie apocalypse, I think you should have as many animals as possible in there. You definitely got to have a dog or dogs. I have both. I have dogs and cats in the zombie apocalypse story, and it just makes sense to have as much as you can. In a fictional book series, you can do whatever you want. On a show, it's tough because you have to be able to have production. They actually have to have the animals trained. You have to have, how it is. But I think, like I said before, when I think of a zombie apocalypse, I think a mall, I think an RV, I think a dog or dogs. I think, chaos, trying to eat food, but then also looting, getting as much free stuff as you can, going on shopping sprees, but trying to stay alive. Who are the enemies? Who are the problems? Is it a bigger problem? What's the bigger problem in a zombie apocalypse? Is it food, safety, shelter, staying alive, disease, the zombies, the people? Like what? Running out of food, running out of water, running out of clean water. It's just a lot. It's a lot of things there too. So, Mike Allen, is there any news on the movies? Nothing yet. I still think it's going to be when the Walking Dead main show production ends. I think it'll be March is when I think will be the earliest for that. So I just don't know. Nothing new yet. So we're still waiting and impatiently waiting too. So. Yeah, cats. I can leave. Well, Otis is a problem. He's a young cat. He's a big baby, and he doesn't like to be left alone. You can kind of keep Otis. You can leave Otis for like a day, maybe 2 at the most. Before we could leave Milo for 4 days with extra food, water, 2 litter boxes and stuff. So, but yeah, that's a whole thing. And a dog, it's pretty much every day. You can't really leave them alone. So it's kind of a thing. Yeah. I mean, Adabee says, I had a cat who thought she was a dog, ate Pringles with me, etc. Yeah, I mean, cats get a bad rap. Dogs are way more personable and in your face. Cats are standoffish and all that as well, but not all cats are, and sometimes dogs are the same way. But I think cats are the biggest thing that if they trust you and they love you, then they can just be as lovable and affectionate as dogs. And Milo definitely is in my book too. But yeah, so I see you guys answering the questions. Joshua asks, what type of microphone interface and recording software do you use? Well, I have a Blue Yeti that I've had for a long time. I use the OBS for my live streaming, and then I just use the basic Windows Movie Maker for my making of the videos. And so it's a basic stuff. I love my Blue Yeti. I got the one shield for the thing, and then the cover. So it covers up the pops and makes it sound a little better too. But I think the Blue Yeti is one of the best microphones for the price too. I don't know what they are now. Maybe they've gone up in price or not too. So Naked One says water, biggest issue. Restruct NAE says, hey man, just wanted to say I've been watching The Walking Dead since 5 years old. Since 5 years old, now I'm 14. 2011 was season 2, I think. Always love your predictions. Thank you, Resurrect NAE. That's crazy. So you were watching it when you were 5. You didn't get scared of the walkers and the scary stuff, and because we haven't really had that in a long time. Like I know they had the jump scares, especially. Yeah, it's different. Well, because I have the one windscreen down, or the windscreen. I don't know what it's called. The screen. So this is usually up when I'm when I make videos, but here it just looks out of place. So I put it down out of the way, so it'll mask it a little bit too. So, but yeah, I don't think the zombie apocalypse of The Walking Dead has been like scary for a long time, or like I don't think it was ever designed to be scary. I think second season what jumps out to me is like Shane and Otis in the school. And with the buildings and the windows and stuff, they were like trying to jump around, and then people jump out at you, jump scares. That's kind of a thing. And I don't know. It hasn't really been that way in a while. And with the Whispers, they kind of had some of the horror aspects. and that they brought it back, but we kind of knew there were people in it. It wasn't like, a thing. Jonathan Wilder asks, what's your go-to Walking Dead snacks? Mine are pizza rolls. So what do you mean, John? Like when you're watching The Walking Dead, what are you snacking on? What are you eating? I don't know. I don't usually have like snacks or stuff when I watch The Walking Dead. If I watch a movie, or it depends on when I'm watching it too. Like if it's during the day, I probably won't really snack much, but at night. And it also depends what you're in the mood for. It could be popcorn, could be Twizzlers, Sour Patch Kids, I don't know, stuff like that. Yeah, probably popcorn, I guess, would be my go-to snack, if we have it in the house, of course. Wilson Q&A, do you have any ideas on possible Season 11B deaths? I had Magna on my list, but she looks safe now. I wonder what happened to Luke. P. Perry says, where is Luke? Mike Allen says, squirrel and chocolate pudding. Yeah, so, yeah. Jonathan says, hello, sir, Walking Dead fanatic from the Philippines. Very cool, John, very cool. Negan wants his tacos and beer when watching The Walking Dead. Thank you, S. Betty. Appreciate you taking the time to be a part of it. My favorite season of The Walking Dead Resurrect NAE is season 6. It's going to be tough to beat in a lot of stuff. So my predictions, possibilities for season 11B deaths are, yeah, that's tough to say. I mean, I don't think it's going to be anybody's significance. Like, I don't think it's going to be Daryl or Carol or Maggie or Father Gabriel or Aaron or Rosita. Luke has been in Oceanside. I think we'll see Luke in season 11B. I think Connie and Kelly will be fine. They were just reunited. It's going to be like Alden, I think, dies. I think Carver dies. I think most of the Reapers die. I don't know what happens with Leah. That's the type of character I think will die. Stephanie, I guess, could die. I don't think Eugene, Princess, Ezekiel. I think Ezekiel's going to be safe. I think Ezekiel's going to have surgery from Tommy, so Tommy's going to save him. Tommy could get in trouble for not being a surgeon all this time, but I think he'll be fine. Yumiko will be fine. Because you know where we're going, right? Is the biggest thing, as I saw from the trailer, is that we're going to have the divide, the sides of the Commonwealth. It was basically a similar thing with Alexandria. And the Commonwealth story is just another Alexandria. It's a very much larger, improved, more secure Alexandria, right? I think it's going to be Alexandria's story arc times 1,000 or times 10 or whatever you want to call it, multiplied. But it's going to be about class and society and people on which side of it are you at, status, right? So we know that Magna was with Yumiko, but Yumiko has status now. She's educated. She's a lawyer. She has value for the Commonwealth. Magna, she has value as well. But to them, do you rank a lawyer and the same level or status or whatever you want to call it? I don't. It's just a question. Do you rank a lawyer the same level as a waitress, the same level as a teacher, as a janitor, as a housewife? Do you really need a lawyer? Like, you're going to be like, well, in statute 416 of Ohio law, it says that people cannot. It's a zombie apocalypse. It's lawless. But then getting back to society and building it back up, does it build from lawyers? Do you have new laws? Do you have a new constitution? Do you have a new commandments or whatever you call it, right? Do you have whatever you're going to build with your new thing? If you have your own society and your own group and your own encampment or your own whatever, do you have your own laws? Like the claimers. Their idea was you have to claim it. It's not much. It may seem silly, but it goes right there too. So it just, it's a thing that I think we'll have to see. But we're going to see the group divided. They're going to have their jobs. They're going to have status. The big one is Magna and Yumiko. Connie and Kelly. Daryl, what's he going to do? Rosita becoming a soldier in the Commonwealth Army. You know, like it just, what do we have? Is Eugene going to get in trouble and Rosita has to arrest him? Princess and Ezekiel get in trouble, they get arrested. And what does Rosita do? Does she help him out? Does she not? I mean, it's tough. John, I said I talked about the Royal Rumble a little bit. My favorite match, I don't know. I mean, I didn't watch all the matches. I didn't watch the Miz and Maurice one versus Edge in there. I personally, when I watch the Royal Rumble, I like the Royal Rumble. I like the 30 wrestlers coming into the ring. Well, not at a time. I don't usually know how many wrestlers they have in the ring at a time because people get eliminated, this and that. But probably, I guess, the Brock Lesnar match was probably my favorite. Bobby Ashley, won, and then Brock Lesnar won the Royal Rumble. I saw later. So, I mean, he's still going to be in the WrestleMania, so that's their way around it. We kind of thought that Ronda Rousey was going to be showing up. She was. She won the Women's Royal Rumble. Like, it was really cool to see the Bellas and all the female wrestlers in there that I actually know. But it's something that, I don't know. I mean, Ronda Rousey to me is not a good wrestler. But, it's sports entertainment. I like Charlotte Flair. I think she's great. And so I guess they're going to be wrestling at WrestleMania or whatever the match will be. So, yeah, the Women's Royal Rumble I think was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing all the different women, and they were really good. Some of them were kind of comical what they did. But, yeah, it was pretty interesting to see. So, but it was entertaining. And the WrestleMania, or the Royal Rumble is a good setup for WrestleMania in a couple months too. So Dawn, I know I saw her on Facebook. She was in Sonoy. I don't know if you're still there, Dawn, but hopefully I saw some of your videos and pictures, and it's pretty cool to see. Sonoy. Anytime people are in Sonoy, it's always great to see because I've been right where your guys are at, downtown Sonoy and Nick and Norman's and Alexandria and going over the railroad tracks and everything. And it's always cool to see. She said, I held the door for Lynn Collins last week in Sonoy at Lisa's Creperies. So that's cool. Lynn Collins plays Leah on The Walking Dead. I saw yesterday that she was just in town still, so I don't know if she lives there, if she's still filming, if she's not. So there's been a lot of people asking about Lynn Collins and Leah. So if she's there, there's a great potential for her to still be filming, and don't know if she's still going to be alive or for the spinoff or for what it goes to. So Michael Singer asks, are you a Tom Brady fan? I guess I could say I'm a fan now. When he was on the Patriots, I was not a fan. But when he was on the Bucs, I turned into a fan, and the respect that I saw that he could do a lot of cool things, and his personality when he did the thing with Tiger Woods, Peyton Manning, and Phil Mickelson, the golf stuff on TNT. You got to see his personality. He's really funny, and I saw a couple of different things about him, and it's just pretty awesome to see his whole career. If he retires or not, there's been mixed reports. Is he retiring? Is he not? A lot of people, I think Adam Schefter was like, he's retired. So that everyone's like, if Adam Schefter said it, it's got to be legit. Well, until he comes out and has a press conference or posts a statement, let's just hold the phone until he actually says he's actually retired. I think he will retire because, he's an old man now. He's 44 years old. I mean, maybe he plays one more year, but he's not guaranteed anything coming back. I think with Tom Brady, the Bucs would be, a top 5 team to be in the hunt. I think that the Rams, if they keep everybody there, would still be right there too. So if Aaron Rodgers stays with the Packers or leaves, if he goes to Denver, where he goes, I think it'd be really interesting to see, what happens. And Kamey says, Jimmy G used to play for the Patriots. Yep, he was the backup to Tom Brady, and then he got traded over to the 49ers, and he's had some pretty good success there too. So Adabee says, there are pillow fighting championships on YouTube. LOL, as in professional, somewhere. So yeah, there was a thing I heard on the radio when I was driving the other day that they have a pillow fighting championship. And I think the person who owns it had to put up like $350,000 to start that thing, but he owns it outright. So I don't know if he's going to turn a profit or make money and who's going to watch that. But yeah, I don't know too. So, but yeah, filming was pretty recently. Dawn said she was there in Sonoy, and she was there, and it's pretty cool to see some of the people. That's a big question about who's still around. And I know Ezekiel had a picture on his Instagram at Kari Payton on Instagram. He posted a picture like in the mirror, and he's like, "Oh, it was a cold one last night." So he didn't say if he was filming or what, but I know in Georgia it was cold, and it was a cold one on Friday, and it was cold everywhere. I know my dad got 8 inches of snow in New Jersey, so they're shoveling out the snow and dealing with that. Got to see it from afar, which is always good. And so we're getting towards the end of The Walking Dead filming. No word yet when the filming is going to actually be done, when they're going to take down the walls, take down the windmill, if it's April or May or June, or when it actually is going to be, if they're going to film some stuff for other spinoffs and shows. I don't know, but it's going to be an interesting, kind of a sad day when they take down the windmill and they take down the walls, and then what are they going to do? They're going to put up a gate and some fencing to prevent people from just walking around. Because if it's open, it would be really hard for a lot of Walking Dead fans not just to walk around Alexandria, the streets and stuff, and to see what it looks like. And I know I would want to. If it's a regular neighborhood, you could just walk through it. And as long as you're not defacing anything and being a knucklehead and doing anything dumb, it'd be kind of cool. But you know how fans would be. Because remember when season 7 was starting, or the filming over the summer, season 6 into season 7? People were trying to get onto the studio, and they're trying to get on there, and they were getting arrested, or they were stepping on trash cans, and they were breaking stuff, and they were trying to see over the walls, and just trespassing and doing, illegal stuff, and it was just ridiculous. But Mike Allen says, heard they were going to make it into a gated community, brah. Yeah, I think so. It makes sense if it's a gated community. I mean, those homes are very expensive. I know they're like close to $1 million in there. I don't know if it's really worth it, but I mean, if I'm paying $1 million, I'm going to be close as I can to the beach, personally myself, or have a lot of land that I can just do whatever I want with it. There, I don't know. But again, all the prices have gone up across the board on like everything, including residential, and homes are definitely going up too. So Don says JDM also posted on Twitter how cold it was the night of filming. And then I saw a thing recently. He got a new tattoo, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, or he was getting one. I don't know how old that was, but he was getting a tattoo. It looked to be on his right forearm. But yeah, it's cold everywhere, man. If they were filming late night on Friday, I can only imagine what it was in Sonoy filming-wise, because I know it was around Alexandria or inside Alexandria too. So it just seems like it's going to be that. Well, hopefully it gets a little warmer, because I know it's going to be getting a little warmer here. Hopefully it gets a little warmer around maybe get a heat wave and stuff. But yeah, to be filming-wise, it's going to be cold. And, if you film at night, it can be 30-degree weather, 40-degree weather. That's cold. I know when there was a thing with, I don't know what season it was, and probably every season since then, when they were editing The Walking Dead, they had to edit out the breaths or the cold air when people were breathing from the zombies, and the blinks when people were like they had to edit out the blinks of the zombies too. So I don't know if that's still a problem or a thing, but yeah, that's a real thing, stuff in the zombie apocalypse too. And it's funny when you watch the filming or you see behind the scenes and the final product, and you're like, or you hear the people talking about it, like it's not really scary when they film at all. And it's probably the same thing when they film scary movies. Like they know that this is going to happen or that's going to happen. So it's not like it's the music and the timing and how they edit it and how they film it, or how they actually portray it on film. But it's always cool to see, the filming recently about it. I want to go back to Sonoy, but I just don't know when I'm going to be able to do it. I'm probably not going to go until after filming is done and stuff to go see it and maybe take some video. And I don't know how long the Walking Dead store is going to be and, the Woodbury shop. Because Sonoy is booming. I mean, that place has got so many businesses. So many people still go there. They still have tours. The Atlanta Movie Tours is gone, but you still have the other touring company. You got other people to do tours, private tours, water tower tours. And it's always cool to see when people see filming or production or cast, crew, just anything too. It's pretty it's a pretty cool thing to see. And if you've ever been there, you can put two and two together as well. Hard Nixie says, when they're filming, they do not have the "Aren't You Crazy, Get Out of Here" music going on. I don't know. When they're filming, they do not have the "Aren't You Crazy, Get Out of Here" music going on. I don't know. Like between filming and stuff, I mean, they add the music and stuff later. Like when they're filming, it's pretty quiet. Besides simulated explosions and stuff, what they can kind of keep and actually film and reel. Besides adding stuff, a lot of stuff in post-production. Mike Allen says, you want Crash with us, meet the family, Bri? That'd be cool if you're in Sonoy on there. I don't have to crash with you. I can stay. My wife and I can stay at the house or stay at a hotel or something like that too. But if we're ever coming up to Sonoy, I would definitely post it on there. And if anybody's in the area around there, it's always cool. It's always cool to meet people and put a face with a name and just that was a cool thing about conventions. When I saw people in person versus social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, it was always, cool to see because, again, I'm a regular person. My wife's a regular person. We don't do anything out of the ordinary. We're regular people. And if we have a bond of the PT channel and the Walking Dead, it's always cool. We have a community feel and it's always, interesting at first, but then you start talking to somebody and, hey, that's cool. I'm so-and-so in here, or you meet them on the cruise or you meet them there. And it's always cool just to talk to somebody, if you ever had a long distance relationship or somebody, you haven't seen in a long time. A lot of times you kind of see somebody and you catch up real quick. And it was cool to see at the conventions, the Walker Stalker conventions and, the cruises. And it was a shame that happened the way it happened with the conventions and the stuff that supposedly happened. But it was a great thing when it lasted. The conventions were always fun. They were always packed. Got to meet a lot of cast, a lot of Walking Dead fans. And it was a great thing to see the panels and to record them for everybody and then share them. It was always cool. And I know they have a fandemic coming in March, I want to say, and they do have some Walking Dead cast there. It's in Atlanta, so maybe that's the future of it. And maybe in a couple years, they still have a convention, and they get to have, some of the Walking Dead cast there, and the show's over, so then people can still talk to them. And I always recommend meeting the cast when you can. I've never met a cast member of The Walking Dead when it was bad and it was a bad opportunity. Michael Cutlass was great. Norman's always great. Michael Rucker was great. Jeffrey Dean Morgan was great. Just Kari Payton was great. Cooper was great. It's just so many people were great. I've never said anything bad. Now, I heard some mixed reports about, a couple of different women and a couple of different people were there, but it's been very minor overall. And I've heard that it was a pretty cool thing. So maybe down the road with it. Amy R. asked what happened. Well, Walker Stalker had a problem with not paying, allegedly, again, I don't know specifics, but there was a problem with finances and they weren't paying vendors, the people that because when you went there and you got a picture with a cast member, they would print out the picture. And I think the company that was producing the pictures wasn't getting paid. Celebrities weren't getting paid. And they would go to convention after convention because they were having conventions all the time. They would have one in Nashville and Georgia and Orlando and Chicago and Australia and Germany and San Francisco and New Jersey and New York. It was like so many different things. It was so many different conventions all the time. I mean, they had huge conventions in Germany, in London, in Australia. It was like so crazy that I guess that's where they were putting the money into it, and they weren't paying certain things. Allegedly, again, I don't know, but then they went, I don't know, bankrupt or broke or this, and then they sold the thing to another. So I don't know. The rights are going around too. So hopefully it would be pretty cool. I'm not going to Fandemic. I know some people are, and some people are going to meet some of the cast members of The Walking Dead. I know one in particular, someone's excited to meet Melissa McBride, who plays Carol on The Walking Dead. It was great. She was great. I highly recommend meeting her. She was awesome. I remember this story. I'll never forget it. My wife and I, it was Walker Stalker Atlanta, which was the big convention, and I think that's where the big conventions will be. We were getting a picture with Carol. It was season 6, right after the Wolves episode, where she dressed up, and we're like, oh, I want a picture with Carol. After watching that episode, I was like, she's amazing. We go there. My wife and I, we have a picture with Carol, but then we also have a picture with Michonne right around the same time. And, when you have a conflict of time, because they have different booths, right? It was like A, B, C, and D, or E, or it was a bunch of them right by each other. You would have to get in line to get there. And they don't care about what your previous picture is. That's when the celebrity can get there. So we went to Carol's thing, and there was a huge line. And we're like, well, we have to get in this line. If we go fast, if we get towards the front, we can make it, because it's right there, but you have to wait 10 your time. So we kind of wiggled our room in this there too. We were the last group of the initial, highly badged, privileged people, because the person said just go into this one and then jump over the one for Michonne. So we were the last people, and then Melissa McBride was like, "Oh, are you guys the last ones?" And we're like, "Nah, there's a bunch of people out there waiting for a picture." And she's like, "Oh," and she cursed. And I was like, "Yeah, people love you. They want a bunch of pictures with you, Melissa. They love Carol." And like, "Oh, that's great." She's like, "Oh man, I can't believe it." And then we walked out and got in line. But it was so funny, because it was such a nice little moment, and she didn't expect all the people there too. So, Jonathan Wilder, Q&A, do you think the idea of pay-per-view being on Saturday, or do you wish I like it on Saturdays personally too. So, I think Saturdays, on Sunday you got football, all their sporting events, all this other stuff. Saturday, it's just like the UFC, it probably does way better on Saturdays than other days too. So, Adabee says, Bri, have you expressed who you think Carol is making cookies for in the new teaser? Well, she's probably a baker, so she's probably making cookies for the convention, for the community. She's probably taking over that. And she probably says she's a baker, because during her, I don't know if we're going to see our group being interrogated, questioned, go through processing. I would like to see that. I could see them skipping over that. Maybe not everybody is, asked the questions, or maybe we get to see it briefly. But I think Carol's going to say she was a baker. She was a housewife, that she was a baker, and we're going to know what that means, being her being a baker. But she blends in very well. So I think she's just making it for the community. And it looks to be some kind of fair going on, personally, is what I think some of the pictures are saying. So I think she'll be good. People are excited about Fandemic. So, yeah, if you can go to Atlanta, Dawn says March 18th through the 20th, which is pretty cool. Tara, Alana Masterson, is great. I've never met Lydia. Lydia came after, she was not at the conventions when I was there. She was after, but people love her. She's always, you can tell in the photos when people get them with her, she's like always smiling and puts you face to face, and she's like got this big smile, and it's just great. Same thing with Cooper. He's the same kind of way. They appreciate and enjoy you being there, and it makes you feel good to be like, yeah, I like being around this person, and they actually liked being there too. So, let me see the last couple questions here, because I'm running out of time. It goes quick. The hour always goes quick. Lincoln K, Q&A. Is it true The Walking Dead is going to be making a VR ride in Cali? I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I know that the walkthrough ride at Universal it is closed, and it's been closed now for a bunch of years. It didn't do really well. So, yeah, I mean, it would be pretty cool if they have an interactive virtual reality, maybe a video game or something, but that'd be pretty sweet. Mass Ninja says, are you going to watch the Halo show? I don't know. I'm not the biggest Halo fan. I stopped playing that video game series after the second game. Mike Allen, will you ever make a Fight for Us comic? I definitely want to make a Fight for Us comic, or, I should say graphic novel, because they are novels. That would be the return graphic novel. So I definitely want to have that. I want to have the art of the Fight for Us series. I wanted to show you, Citrus Oaks, the baseball stadium, the beaches, the chaos, the debris, Ryan, his sword, is just his outfit is just, I want to have a bunch of different stuff and have the concept art for it. I just don't know how to do that. And the guy that I was talking to, Stan Yak, he lives in Russia. He's very talented, but the time zone changes. He's a very busy guy, and we just haven't had a chance to get together. And he made a bunch of art for me already, a bunch of the stuff. If you know any of the artwork that we have, he's done it all. He's pretty amazing. I just, we just need somebody that can do a little more frequently for me. I would love for him to do it. He's just a busy guy too. Cammy says, I won Carol's cookie tray on stream on Twitch. Pretty cool. That's the one with the, is that the white one with the brass knuckle kind of handles? Cammy, that's always a cool thing to see, that cookie tray. That's the one I think of at least. Let me get a couple more questions here. Are you ready for The Last of Us? I am. I'm excited for The Last of Us series. I think the casting is going to be great, and I think it's going to be great on HBO. Isaiah's, how I've been good. Isaiah's, how have you been? Hopefully staying warm on there too. Mark says, go Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to beat the Bengals, but if the Bengals win too, I hope Joe Burrow has a good game and Jamar Chase and Mixon have good games, because I have them in my fantasy stuff. So we'll see. Hopefully that's a big 38-34 score where it's a bunch of stuff. And last one, Lincoln K. How's the house projects coming along? Pretty slow, Lincoln. I haven't really done much. Wait for it to warm up. I'm trying to tackle a lot of the tree pruning with the branches and stuff. Stuff's getting kind of crazy by the fence line and stuff. So we'll have to, get that caught up. And Jonathan Wilder, last question. Do you think there will be a Last of Us Part 3? I hope so. The second one was okay. It wasn't as good as the first, but I just don't know what they would do in the third one. Personally, it kind of felt more like a good ending, the way to end it. But we'll have to see where Ellie goes and what happens in the third one. I think they will. The success of the first two have been really good, so I think it'd be great. So there you go, guys. That's my time. Enjoy your Sunday. Stay warm. Enjoy the football if you're going to watch it. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories. Keep working hard. You can achieve things. I'll be back next Sunday to talk about more Walking Dead stuff, any news that comes up. We're getting closer to the return of The Walking Dead. Like I said, enjoy football today. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys.